Okay, hello and welcome back to class. Okay, so today we are going to start building our dashboard. Okay, so let's get to that. Okay, to build our dashboard in Excel, I'm going to start by adding a new sheet, a new worksheet where I can do the entire work. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'll add a new worksheet. Okay, I have a new worksheet like this. I have a new worksheet. Now I'll go to my view ribbon. Now on my view ribbon, I'm going to uncheck my grid line and I'm going to uncheck my headings. Okay, for me to have a clear shape like this without the Excel grid lines and cells. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is make my screen a full screen. I'm going to make my screen a full screen. Okay, for me to do this, I can simply do Control Shift F1, or I can simply come here, this arrow here, and click on full screen mode for me to have this. I'll click on full screen mode for me to have my screen like this. Okay, now I want to use I'm going to use a PowerPoint to create my base, my dashboard base. Okay. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now is to go to PowerPoint. We're going to go to PowerPoint. Okay, so I have my PowerPoint open here. I have my PowerPoint open here, so I'm going to click on it too. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to come to blank presentation. Okay, so on my blank presentation, this is where I'm going to create the entire base. So I'm going to highlight this that is here. I'll highlight this and delete it. Okay, so I have my PowerPoint slide. My PowerPoint, what is this called again? Uh, Sheet showing here. Let me just call it that. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is to insert a shape. Now I'll go to my insert here. I'll go to my insert. Then I'll go to shapes. Now I'm going to take a rectangle. Now if I pick the rectangle, it comes out like this. I'm going to draw it to cover this entire PowerPoint shape. If you notice, I simply covered only the PowerPoint templates. I simply covered the PowerPoint templates. I didn't go above. I didn't drag this above like this. No. I made sure I stopped here. Okay. And the downside too, I didn't go above it. I made sure I stopped right at the where the template stopped. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is on this I'm going to remove the shape outline. I'll say no outline. I'm removing the outline. Okay. Now, as I remove the outline, now this person is going to be like a background. It's going to serve like our background. Okay. Okay, so this shape I added here, we've removed the outline. The outline is gone. So I'll go ahead to the shape fill now. I'll go to the shape fill and more fill colors. Okay, let's choose a color. Okay, let's use let me go to gradient fill. I'll right click, format shape. Okay, on the fill. Okay, let's use a gradient fill. Okay, we're using a gradient fill now. Okay, on the preset gradient, On the preset gradient, let's choose one here. Okay, let's take this. Okay, now for this pencil I have here, or this gradient stop, I'm going to add a color to it. Now on the color, I'll go to more colors. Okay, let's go to blue. Okay. Okay, let's make sure we are getting the correct blue color. Okay, I'm moving this. Okay, I think this is what I want. Okay, so I change the type to radial. I change the type to radial. Okay. Okay, so on this pencil here, we're going to choose a lighter blue color. We will choose a lighter blue color. So on the more color, oh sorry, I think I forgot I wasn't on the right pencil. The gradient stop. Okay, so this. Okay, we have this. So this person, I'm going to make it the same color. Okay, so we have this. Let me adjust this a little bit. Okay, if you check my pencil stops, this pencil here with the darker shade of blue, I have the position to be 45%. This gradient stop here, I have the position to be 75%. The other one is on 100%. Okay, and then the color code I used for this is, let me get the color. The color code is 0B0343. That is the color code for this. Okay. And the color code for this, the color code for the second blue, we use the 1F09C3. So this is the color code in case you want to use the same color code. 1F09C3 for the light blue color. Okay. Okay, so that is it. Okay, since we have this, since we've achieved this, let's go ahead and add our second shape. Okay, so I'll pick another shape. Now I'm going to pick this shape, the rounded corner rectangle. I'll pick the shape and I'll draw. Okay, and then on the adjustment point, I'm going to be adjusting this. Okay, so I have this. This is what I have here. Okay, now for my outline, I'm going to use I'm not removing the outline. I'm going to make the outline white, or let me say ash color. Okay, and I'm going to increase the size a little bit. Wait, let me say 3. Okay, so I'm going to be using this outline for it. Okay, now for the color itself, for the shape fill itself, okay, I'm going to be using let me go to more colors. Okay, let's lighten this up a little bit. Let's change it a little bit. Okay, no. Let me get the right color. Okay, let's try this. Okay, I think this is okay. Okay, this is okay because I wanted it to be a little bit different from the one we have here. Okay, so let's go with this. Now, we have another shape to add. We have another shape to add. Okay, now on the second shape we're adding, let's pick another rounded rectangle. So I have this shape and I'm adding it here, inside here. Okay, so I'm going to be adjusting this. Okay, let me adjust the points now. Okay, I have this. So for this one, I'm removing the outline. No outline. Okay, and for the color, I'm making this color black. I'm filling this black. Okay, I fill this black. Okay, now this is what we have. This is what we have. Now, I'm going to add another shape here. I'm going to add another shape. Okay, now I'm adding this, a rectangle. So let me draw the rectangle. Okay, I've added the rectangle, and this rectangle, I'm going to be removing the outline. No outline. And then I'm going to use the fill for, I'm using the fill color of, let me use this. I'm using this fill color for it. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, then inside this, I'm going to add 2 more shapes. Okay, I'm going to add another rectangle. Okay, I'll simply duplicate this, Ctrl D, then place it up here, and resize. Okay, this is what we have. Okay, so this is what we are trying to create here. This is what we are trying to create in all of this. We are trying to create this. Okay, so let me go back. Okay, so I'm going to be making this, I'm going to be removing the outline for this. I'll say no outline, and I'll make the color black. Same for this, no outline, and I'll be filling this black as well. Okay, so this is what we have. This is what we have. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to group this now. We are going to group this. Okay, so I'll click on the first one I did here. I'll click on the first one, hold my control, click on the second shape, still holding my control, click on this one, click on the ash, click on this, and click on this. Then remove my hand from my control. Then go to my group and click on group. Okay, so I have this. I have everything grouped. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this back to Excel. I'll take this back to Excel. Now, if you check when I grouped, there's a highlight line surrounding this. There's a highlight line with points surrounding this. So I'm going to click on this line and Control C. Okay, so I'll go to Excel. Okay, so this is where I am supposed to be. So what I'm going to do now is I'll Control V to paste what I did. As you can see, I have it here. So I'm dragging this on the line. I am not dragging this inside here. So what I'll do is I'll take this, bring it up here. So for me to be able to see this properly, I'm going to resize it a bit, then move it up again. Okay, I think I'm seeing it properly now. Okay, I'm seeing this properly. So I can go ahead and resize it more. Okay, let me pick it from here. Okay, I'm trying to resize more. Okay, so this is what I have now. I have this, and I think I'm okay with what I have like this. So this is my dashboard base. I've brought it back to Excel. Now what I'm simply going to do is this. I'm simply going to start bringing in my charts. I'm simply going to start bringing in my charts. Okay, so let me start with the down ones here. So let me go to my, okay, let me go to work type. This is where I have my work type here. I'll click on it, Control C, then to my dashboard. Okay, let me rename this sheet to dashboard. Dashboard. Okay, So I'll simply Ctrl V and I'll resize this. Let me bring it down here. Okay, I'm going to remove this title. I don't want it. I'll use a text box for my title. So I'm unchecking this title. Okay, so let me resize this the more. Okay, now I have this like this. Okay, so let me go to my gender. I'm going to be picking these two charts at the same time. I'll click on one, hold my control, click on the other one, then Control C to my dashboard and Control V. Okay, I'll simply click out so I can work on them individually. I'm going to resize this. Okay, I'm unchecking the title as well. The title showing male, so I can resize this and achieve what I want. Okay, I'm simply going to place this here. I'll do the same for this person. I'll check chart title and resize. Okay, I have this here. After we'll format properly. Okay, let's pick another chart. Okay, we have this. I'm going to uncheck the chart title. Okay, then Control C to the dashboard. Control V. So I'm going to be resizing this. Let me decrease this the more because I have okay. Okay, I don't want this to slant. Okay, so let me shift this. Okay, I'm making space for another chart here. Okay, let's see if we bring that in. That chart is the okay, no, not this one, but let me still bring this one in. Okay, chart title and check and Control C. Control V. Okay, let's look for another chart. Okay, by departments, chart title on check. Control C to the dashboard. Control V. So we'll be resizing this and bring this down here. Okay. So we'll have another chart to bring in. By age group. So I'm removing the chart title as well. And Control C. Sorry, Control V. Okay. So I'm placing this here. Let me shift this a little bit and resize. Okay, so we have this chart down here, remaining one chart. Okay, so let's get the chart. But before that, I'm going to be moving my dashboard to the first. Okay, let me drop it here. Okay, so the chart we need to get now is one chart remaining. Let me see where I have the charts. Okay, I have this. So I'm removing this chart title and I'll copy the charts. Control C, then to my dashboard. Control V. Okay, so I'm going to be resizing these percents here. So I'll have space. Okay. Let me resize this. Okay, so I can shift this. Okay, we have this inside here. Okay, so let's see if we can format what we have. Let's try to format what we have. Okay, we have our charts here, inside here. Now the next thing we need to also bring in is our slicer. We need to bring in our slicer. Okay, now for us to bring in our slicer, like we said, we need to go to a pivot table. Okay, so let me go to a pivot table. I have a pivot table here, so I'll click on this pivot table and I'll go to insert. I'll go to insert. From insert, I'll see my slicer. Okay, let it load. Okay, my slicer is up. Now what I want to use for my slicer is I want to use gender. I want to use gender. I'll pick gender. Then I'll also use the year group. I'll use the year group. Then I'll also use the let me get it. I'll also use the remains employed as my slicers. Okay, I'll click OK. So these are my slicers. So what I'll simply do now is I'll copy them to the dashboard. I'll click one, hold Control, click the second one, then click this one and Control C to the dashboard. Control V. Okay, I have this here. So I'm going to click out and separate them so I can arrange them. So I have this. I'm going to resize, bring it down. Do the same thing for this. Place it down here. Okay. Then I'll bring this one down. Okay, let me place this guy up. Then I'll bring this one down here in the middle. Resize. Okay. So I can see everything I have. Okay. Then I'll do the same for this. Okay, so I have this. After I'll format this, I haven't formatted it yet. Okay, now that I have the slicer here, let me go ahead and start formatting the charts. Let me go ahead and start formatting this chart that we have here. Okay, so I'll be starting from this one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be removing the fill. I'll click on this, right click, fill. I'll remove the fill, no fill. Okay, so I have this. Now that I've removed the fill, what I'll simply do again is I'll also remove the outline. No fill, no outline. Okay, so the text, I'll click on the text here and go to home and home, and on the text color I'll make it white. Okay, the same thing with the data labels. I'll click on the data labels here, go to home and make it white. Okay, now for the bars, I want to increase the bars. I'll click on the bar, they will all highlight. I'll right click, I'll say format data series. Okay, first of all, I want to increase the size of my bars. Now it's on the gap width. The gap width is where I can increase the size of these bars. So I can say, let me reduce to, okay, let me say, okay, I have this 48. Okay, I think 49 is okay for me. Let me leave it on 49. Okay, now the next thing I'll do is I'll go to the fill and line. Now on the fill, my fill color, I want it to be a gradient. I want to use a gradient. Okay, now for this, I'm going to color, more color. Okay, I'll be using this. Okay, let me change this to radial. Okay, thank you. I made the type radial. Okay, so let me work on this color a little bit. I want it a little bit darker. Okay, better. Okay. Okay, so I'm removing this pencil here. I don't need it. Or this stop, this gradient stop here. I don't need it. I'll cancel it. I'll also remove this one here. Cancel. So I have this person left. So I'll simply change the color to a lighter color, a lighter blue color. Okay, so this is how I achieved this look. This is how I achieved this chart look. Okay, so this white line showing here, this white outline showing here, I'm going to click on it and right click and say outline, no outline. So it will go off. Now I want to add a title to this chart. Okay, so for me to add a title, I'll go to insert, I'll pick a text box and I'll draw it here. So I'm going to write on my text box. So I'll be writing turnover rates by department. Okay, I have this. Now I'm simply going to remove this fill. I don't want the white color to be showing. I'll remove the fill and I'll remove the outline as well. Okay, so I have this. I'm going to make this text white. Okay, so I have it like this. Okay, so this is turnover rate by department. Now the next one I have here is this person. This is the next chart I have. Okay. Okay, I don't know why. Okay, let's format this. Let's format this. Okay, for us to format this, I'll do the same thing again. I'll say no fill. I'll remove the fill and I'll also do it a gradient. Let me make this white. I'm making this white. Okay. I'll also make the text here white. Okay, I'm going to make the text here white as well. I'll make this white. Okay, the same thing with this. Okay, so I'm going to be doing the same thing I did for this chart here. I think I'll increase my gap width a little bit. Okay, let me leave it this way. 79. Okay, so I'll go to my gradient fill. Okay, because I've formatted this, now whenever I click on a gradient fill, it will automatically apply. Okay, so I'll go ahead and remove this white outline. I don't want it. Outline, no outline. Okay, that is it. So I'll also remove the outline on the entire charts. Outline, no outline. Okay, so I'll copy this or duplicate this, Ctrl D, and place it here and rename it. Okay, so I'll be naming this turnover rates by age group. Turnover rate by age group. Okay. Okay, so I formatted two charts now. So let's format this. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing as well. Let me right click. Okay, so we're going to be formatting this chart too. Right click. Okay, format chart area. Now on my I'll do the fill, no fill. Okay, then I'll do the gradient fill. Sorry, I've forgotten that I'm on my fill. Okay, let's work on this first of all. I don't need this. I'll click on this axis and delete this axis. I don't want that axis. Okay, so I'll be making this white. Okay, I'll do the same thing for this side. I'll also make it white. Okay, now these outlines, I don't need them. So I'll click on it and say outline, no outline. Then the entire chart too, I don't want the outline, so outline, no outline. So we have this. Now remaining the bars, it's the columns itself. So I'll click on the column, right click, format data series, and I'll increase my columns a little bit. Let me increase a little bit. Okay, this is too big. Let me decrease it. Okay, I think this is okay. Now on the fill, I'll make it a gradient. Okay, so we have this. We have this. So I'll copy this again. Control D. I'm duplicating it. Control D. Okay, Control D and rename. So we'll be naming this total employee. Total employee by age brackets and gender. Okay, so we have this as our chart name. Okay, we formatted this chart here. We formatted these three charts. Okay, so let's go ahead and format these ones up here. Okay, let's start from here. Okay, for us to format this, we are also going to remove the fill for this. Let's do this. No outline, no fill. Now, if you notice, I keep using different places to remove my fill and my outline. So I'm just trying to show us the different options to do this. Okay, so I'll be making this text here white. I'll make this white. I'll also make this white. I'll click on this. Go to my home. Make it white. Same for this. White. Same for the data labels. Okay, we have this to be white. Okay, I don't want this outline to be here. I'll click on it, right click and say no outline. Okay, so I've removed the outline. So I'm going to work on the bars now. So I'll click, sorry, the columns. I'll click on the column, format data series. Okay. Now I'll be picking my, sorry, I think I picked the wrong one. Let me cancel this. Okay. Click and right click. Format data series. Okay, I'm here. Let me increase this a little bit. Okay, let me leave it at 120. So on my fill and line, I'll be making it gradient fill. Okay, so this is what I wanted to do. Okay, let me cancel out. Then on my line, I'll click on the line. Okay, I'll click on the line and it will highlight. I'll right click, format it again. Now I want to make this line color. Let me use this blue here. Okay. So I'm using this blue. You can use any other one you feel like using. Okay, so we've done this. Let me copy one of the titles. Control D. And I'll place it here. Okay, then rename. So we have total employee by turnover rates and employee rating. Okay. Okay, so we have this for our title. Let me stretch it again. Okay, so let's look at the other chart here. Okay, so let's do the same thing. We'll be removing our outline and our fill. No outline, no fill. Okay, so we're making this white. Same thing for the data label, white. Okay, so for the area itself, for my data series here, the gradient fill. Okay, so we'll be using this for our gradient fill. So this is it for this chart. Then I'll go ahead and remove this outline down here. Okay, so I'll pick one title here and put up. Okay, so this is going to be turnover rates by ethnicity. Okay, we have this. So we have these two charts remaining to formats. We have these two charts remaining to formats. Okay, let's start from the down. Let's start here. So I'm going to be removing the outline and fill on this chart. So on the fill, I'm making this no fill and then no outline. Okay, so I have it like this. I have it like this. So I'll go ahead and click on the chart, on the bars itself. I'll go ahead and click on the bars itself, then right click again. I'll still do this no outline. Okay, I don't want those white lines surrounding it. Okay, so I made it no outline again. So I'm going to be changing these colors now. So I'm starting from this pay per time. I've clicked on it, I right click. Okay. Format data points. Come to the field. Now I want to use a color. So let me go to the color. For my recent colors, I can decide to use this. Okay, I can decide to use this color for my part-time. Then for my, what is it called? Full-time, I'll click on the full-time and I can decide to use okay, let's look for another color. I can decide to use this, or let me see if I can change this. Okay, let me use this. Then for the contract, I can decide to use this. Okay, let's see what we have. I click out. Okay, so this is what we have when I click that. Okay, this is not bad for a combination. Okay, now let's look at the title. So I'll copy one of this. Control D. I'll place it up here. Don't worry, I'll arrange this properly by turn over it by work type. Okay. Okay, so on these two charts here, so I can do the same thing for them. Okay, I'm picking them together. Okay, let me not put them together. Let me do this one. So I'm making this no fill. I'm doing the same for this. No fill. Okay. I'm removing this data label, the 72. I'm removing it. Delete. I don't need it. I'll click on this as well. Click on it again. Delete. Okay, so let's do this one by one. So I'm doing this no outline. I'm doing the same for this. No outline. Okay, so we have this no outline, no outline. So let me work with this first. The data label here, I'm going to be moving this data label inside the charts. Okay, I have it inside the charts. I'm going to make it white. Okay, so for this, I'm removing the outline. Okay, I simply clicked on this bar, sorry, on this donut inside here. Then when I clicked on it, it showed the highlight line. Then I right clicked and removed the outline. The outline is simply this white line surrounding this. This is what an outline is. Okay, so I've removed this. So let me go ahead and do other formatting to it. So I'll click on the donut again. Now I want to increase the size of my donut size. Call it the donut hole size. So I'm going to do this. Okay, so I think I have a 63. I think I'm okay with 63. Okay, let me reduce this more. Let me increase it a bit. Okay, I'll move this further down here. I will do the same thing with this person. Okay, so I'll reduce this a bit. Let me remove the outline. Outline. So let me shift this. Let me move this text inside. And make it white. Okay. So I have this. Let me try to increase this a little bit. The same thing with this. Now let me position this text, this one, the title for this one properly. Okay, I have this. Let me take this up a little bit. And take this up a little bit. Okay. I can decide to move this closer. Okay, let me just leave it like this. Okay, so we have this as our donuts. We have this as our donuts. So this is how they are now looking. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure they're in order. Let me delete this line. Okay. Okay, so we have this. Now let's work on the colors, the donut colors. Okay, I've clicked on this. Let me go to the fill. Now I want the fill color to be, let me use this for this. And for this one, let me use something else. Let me use this. Okay. So this is what we have. Now this white part showing here, I don't want it to be there. So I'll click on it. Still come to my fill again. Okay, let me try to get that white part. Donut explosion. Let me check. Okay. Let's return this to 0. Okay. Okay, let's look at doing it this way so that we can take it off because it's very tiny and clicking on it is okay. Okay, so it's actually the borderline. So what I did is I clicked on it and on the border I said no line. So it went off. It went off. Okay, so the next thing to do here now is to add our images. The next thing to do here now is to add the images. Okay, so for us to add these images now, we'll go to Insert, Pictures, this device, for us to add our images. Okay, so let's try to get this. Downloads. Okay, from download, let's pick man and insert. Okay, we have it here. Oh, sorry, that's it. I think we have the image here. So simply resize and place it up here. Okay, we'll do the same thing for the female too. Same thing for the female. Insert, pictures, this device, woman. Okay. In case you're wondering, I've already downloaded this when I was teaching in class. So making this video, I just had to go to where I already had it downloaded and then picked it. In case you're wondering, I used Flat Icon. It's a site where you can get this kind of images. It's called Flat Icon, Flats, Flat icon, flaticon.com. That is where I got this. Okay, so you can also go there to download yours. Okay, so what I'll simply do here now is to add the chat title. So let me just take any from any title, Control D, and I'll place it up here. So this is by gender. Okay, so we have this. Let me place this properly. Okay, so this is what we have when we formatted our charts. This is what we have. Okay, so we've successfully formatted these charts. We've successfully formatted these charts. Okay, so let's go ahead and format our KPIs. Sorry, our slicers. Let's format our slicer. So I'll select one slicer and I'll go to my slicer. I have my slicer ribbon here. Then on the drop down, I'll click on new slicer style. Okay, when this opens, I'll format the whole slicer. My whole slicer, I want it to be okay. Let me make the font here white. Then my fill, I'm making my fill black, and I'll click OK. Now the next thing I'm formatting here is I'll format my header. Okay, let me format my selected item with data. Okay, let me format header. I'll simply make the header font white. Okay, that's all. Now on the selected item with data, I'll format and I'll make the font white. The fill, let me use a color, custom. Let's pick a color here. Okay, let's check this. Okay, let's use this. And okay. So the same thing with unselected item with data. Format, font, white, fill, more colors, custom color. Okay, I can use this. Okay, let's do this. And I'll click OK. And then OK. So it hasn't applied. I'll have to apply it. So I'll go to where I have my slicers. I have it here. And I'll click on it to apply. Then I'll come to this one too. I'll do the same thing. Click on it to apply. Click on this one here. Do the same thing. Click on it again. It will apply. Okay, so I have this. Now I need to connect my slicers to the dashboard. So I'll click on the slicer, right click, report connection. So I'm going to check all these boxes. I'll be checking all these boxes. I'm going to make sure I don't leave any box out. Okay, I'll make sure I don't leave any box out. Then after this, I'll click OK. Okay, then I'll do the same for this slicer here. Right click, report connection. I'll check this. So I'm going to do this for all the slicers that I have. I'm going to report them one after the other. Okay, I'm doing this so that my dashboard can be interactive. Okay, so let me do this last slicer. Let me report the last slicer. Report connection. Okay, if you want me to also do a video like this for Power BI using another data, okay, just send a message and let me know. Okay, I'll also make a video for Power BI. Okay. Okay, you can also go on Seller and get some of my courses. I have a lot of courses on Seller that you can read and also practice on. Okay, I have a lot of video courses for you to explore on Seller. Okay, and they simply go for a token. Okay, so you can go to Seller. I'll drop my link. You can ask for my link and I'll give you the link to my Seller, and you can go there and check out some other videos I have on Power BI, dashboard creation, data cleaning, and data modeling. Okay, so let's look at bringing out the KPIs now. Now, for us to bring out our KPIs, we are simply going to bring a text box. So I'll go to Insert, text box. So I'm going to draw a text box here. Okay, let me close this up a little bit. Okay, I'll close this up a little bit and bring this. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this, Control D, and I'll place it just down. Let me resize it just more. Okay, let me shift this up. Okay, so I'll Control D again, and I'll place this somewhere beside this. Okay, Control D. Okay, I'm going to be placing 12 boxes in total. Control D, Control D, Control D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's do this here. Control D, and I'll place this here. Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D. Okay, we have this. We have this. Okay. Now that we have this, I'm also going to duplicate another box. Control D, and I'll bring it down here. Because if you noticed, we have another slicer. Let me reduce this a little bit and bring it down. Okay, I'll bring this person down too. Okay, I want us to have a, what is it called again? I want us to have a KPI down here. Okay, we're going to have two KPIs down here. Okay, Control D. And I'll shift this. Okay. Okay, I think we're going to add the next boxes to this place since we don't have much space here. So let me Control D here and place it here. Then Control D again, place it here. Okay, let me move this box a little bit up. Okay, so we have this. Now I'm going to make another box to use for title. Control D. We need a title box, dashboard title text box. So I'm going to be using this. Sorry. Okay. Okay. I'm going to adjust this to this point. Okay. I will also adjust this a little bit on this. Okay. Now let's look at bringing in the KPIs now. Now for us to bring in our KPI, we're going to go to our view. If you remember when we're trying to create this dashboard, we went to view and switched off our headings and all of that and the formula bars. Now I'm going to bring this formula bar back. I'll check it. It will appear here. Now I'm going to start bringing in my KPIs. Okay, so first on the list, I'll click on the box. On the formula bar, I'll put equal to. Okay, then I'll go to my KPI. Now this is where I have my KPI. Now the first one I want to bring in is I want to bring in the name, total employee. I'll click on this name here and click enter. Okay, I have this. Now I want to bring in the value. I'll do the same thing. I'll click on the box and the formula bar equal to. I'll go to my KPI. Now my total employee is 3,000 this. I'll click on it and bring it in. I'll do the same for this. Equal to. I'll be bringing in my turnover rate. Enter. And I'll do this the same way. Okay, there are other ways to do this, but let me show us this way. Enter. And I'll do this. Okay, sorry. I'll click write equal to, go to KPI, and I'll bring in the retention rates. Okay. Then I'll bring in the value. The same thing for this, equal to. So I'll bring in total salary. The same thing. So our total salary value. If you notice, the KPI I am picking is the one I referenced. This is the KPI I am picking, the value I'm picking. Then when I'm picking the name, I'm picking the name here. Okay. So the next one is average tenure. So I'll be doing the same thing for the average tenure. Okay, so I'll be bringing in my average age. Okay, then I'll bring in the active employee. Okay, so that is it for our KPIs. So now let's format the KPIs now. So I'll click on this, click on this, click on this. I'm holding my control when I click the first one. Okay, I think I've talked of, let me do this again. How I selected, first of all, I clicked on the first one, held my control, clicked, picked. Okay, so this is how I am selecting them at the same time. Okay, I'm going to on the fill, I'll make it a no fill. On the outline, I'll make it also no outline. Okay, then if I go to my home, I can centralize it. I can centralize the text. Okay, now you can't see it because Control A, let me make it white. Okay, I should have done this before I removed my, what is it called? Okay, so I'll highlight and make them white. Okay, Control A. Okay, maybe you can, before you do yours, you can first of all, before you remove your fill, okay, please, you can first of all, if you're a beginner, you can first of all do change the color to white, change your text color, highlight. If you check this, I'm highlighting before I do anything. First of all, you highlight, then change your text color to white before you remove your fill, okay? But if you can see it, or if you can be able to still locate where you have your text, like I am doing now, you can go ahead. Anyone that works for you is okay. Okay, let me click out, Control A. Okay, we have this. Okay, so let's add our dashboard title. So we have a HR workforce analysis dashboard. Okay, we have this. Let me highlight this. Okay, I'll centralize this, make it bold. The size, I'll use, okay, this is 16. Then I'll pick a font. Let's pick a font. This one is not okay. Let me use something else. Okay, let me use this. And text white. Okay. Now that I've done this, I'll go ahead and remove the fill for this. I'll say no outline, no fill. No outline, no fill. Okay, let me make a little adjustment. Okay, we have this HR workforce analysis dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little few more things. I'm going to go ahead and add a little few more things. Now, I can decide to get more, I can decide to go to flat icon, get icons to place on my total employee, place on all of these things that match what I have here. Like if you check on this dashboard here, if you check on this dashboard, you can see that I added this, I also added this, I added this and this. So these are icons, matching icons I get. Like if you check this icon here, like this is an age, and you see a baby, an adult, and then an older adult. Now the average tenure, I use the calendar. Now this is money. Okay. Now this is employees, showing people. Now you can also see the ones I use here for active employees and those that are inactive. Their time is down. Okay. Now this is a spark line. This is also on the spark line. So this is the last things we are going to add now, this and this. So on your own, when you're practicing, please go to flat icon, I've said it before, flaticon.com, and see what you can get, then insert it and resize them. Okay, so let me go back to our work. Okay, so the next thing we are going to add now is we'll be adding the, what is it called again, the spark lines, the spark line we used here. Okay, so let's do that. So to add the spark line, let's use any sheet here. Let's do this using any sheet at all. We'll model on the sheet, then see how we'll change it. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, to add our spark line, I'm going to be, let's model. I'm going to copy this pivot table, Control C, and I'll come down here and Control V. Okay, so let's model. Okay, show field list. So I'm going to be picking let me remove this work type. I remove the work type. Turnover rate, I'll be picking my total employee. I'll pick total employee. Retention rates. I'll pick retention rates. Okay, then I'll pick my month name. Okay. Okay, so I have this. So let me turn this into percentages. Okay, I have this. Now I'm going to be showing this using the spark line. I'll highlight this. I'll highlight this. I'll go to my insert on the spark line. Now it's going to ask me choose where you want the spark line to be placed, the location range. I will say I want it to place it here for me. So this is cell G26. Okay, so I'll click OK. Now it will place the spark line here for me. Now this is the turnover rate by the month, how the turnover rate happened for each month. This is what the spark line is showcasing here. Okay, the month with the highest turnover rate. Okay, so this is what the spark line is all about. Okay, so let me go ahead and add the other one using the retention rates. Okay, I will do the same highlights. Go back to insert. Now I'm using the columns. So I'll pick where I want it to appear. I'll pick this and I'll click OK. So this is it. This is it. Okay, so we've added our spark lines. We've added our spark lines. So the next thing we're going to do now is to pick this. Okay, for me to pick my spark line, I wouldn't want to pick, because if I don't remove this Excel grid line, it will follow me to the dashboard. So I'm going to remove, I'll go to my view and I'll say grid lines. I'll turn off the grid lines. Okay, so I can now take this, hold, and sorry, let me take this, Control C. Okay, on my turnover rate, I'll be placing my spark line close to it. Okay, I'll Control V. Okay, so this is where it dropped. I'll carry this person and I'll drop it here. Let me increase it a little bit. Okay, so we've added this spark line. We've added this spark line here. So in case you're wondering, this was how the spark line was added. So I'll go ahead and bring in the column spark line. Control C. So I'll be dropping this here. Control V. Let me show size this a bit. Okay. Okay, so this is how the spark lines were added. Okay, so we've come to the end of this dashboard. Let me uncheck the green line. The formula bar. So we've come to the end of this dashboard. Now, if I can slice, I can say, okay, let me slice the active, and the dashboard is interactive. I can remove this. Okay, before now, I've already explained how our dashboard is, what we did and everything. So you can refer back to the first video where I explained this work and what it's all about. Okay, so we've come to the end of this course. Thank you very much. Okay, I have some other courses, like I said. You can also watch and learn. Okay, thank you very much. See you in our next class.